SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.
Gateway Rescue Mission, meeting the physical and spiritual needs of the homeless right here in Jackson, Mississippi. Check us out at www.gatewaymission.org.
I'm Steve Azar, and I'm on the other side of the microphone, meaning I'm asking the questions this time, and oh, have mercy for the airwaves. I spent 20 years in Music City, wrote and made some hits, traveled the world, and then moved my family back to the birthplace of American music and where the magnolia trees prosper. And now every time I put my feet on Mississippi soil, when I'm off the road, well, I'm at peace. On this show, it's all about hearing the stories straight from the mouths of the friends I've made along the way, their journey to success. Heck, there might be someone on, I don't even know, but you know how us Mississippi types are. We tend to take well to new company. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them. I'm Steve Azar. It's just like that muddy river, moving slow. Ain't no worries, it's how life goes, baby. In a Mississippi Minute. That's right.
Hey folks, time for another In a Mississippi Minute. Always grateful for my team over at visitmississippi.org. Please check it out. Follow the country music trail marker, blues trail markers, freedom trail, writer's trail. It'll take you forever, and you'll be proud of your Mississippi. Speaking of Visit Mississippi, Tourism 101, we're gearing up for the Mighty Roots Music Festival. My pal Howard Stovall, home of Muddy Waters, Stovall, Mississippi, October 3rd and 4th. He's been doing it for a number of years right now, and I've got the headliner on today, which is awesome to have, and I'm check out where he and they are at in relation to the road and touring. From the heart of Tulsa, Oklahoma, comes a band that's been in the game of modern indie folk and alternative rock since about 2015, originally formed when two college pals began writing tunes together in the stillness of post-grad summer, it sounds like. I don't want to give too much away, and this is probably wrong, so I'll let my guest today fix it. The band has since evolved and blown into a full-on career, of course, from their breakout album EP, Latigo, which garnered millions and millions and millions of streams and landed them on tour with the likes of Band of Horses and Rainbow Kitten Surprise, et cetera, to their critically acclaimed debut album, a high-profile Jimmy Kimmel live performance, and now their latest EP, Talker. Very cool. You got to check it out. This band's music continues to evolve without losing the introspective spark that made fans fall in love with them in the first place. That's key. How honest can you stay as you evolve? Always a difficult task. Add to that a cinematic placement on the latest Twisters movie soundtrack with their song Wall of Death. And you've got to be a band in this day in the indie rock world or any world to be able to take all of the songs, treat them like children, as I say, and be able to find a home for them. And that's what they've been doing. I'm thrilled to be talking with one of them today. It was supposed to be two of them, but we'll talk bad about Tyler. I've got Max Rayner on the phone from the fabulous band Wildorado. What's up there, Max?
Hey, what's happening? Good to see you. Have we met? I can't remember if you and I have met or if this is it.
You look familiar now that I've seen you, but who knows? You know.
Yes, important.
Tulsa. I played many shows in my younger days in Tulsa. Spent a lot of time there and loved the town. Love Oklahoma City. Toured all those arenas and stuff in my prime. I love having you guys on. So I love to go into the rearview mirror, into the wonder years. It sounds like you and Tyler sort of got things going, college, post-college. I had my band rolling in college, and we were playing all throughout the Southeast and Southwest, so I get all that. Take me back, though, beforehand, before college, your wonder years. I always love to understand the nurturing, where music eventually took hold. Were you into sports? What was your family like? You know, just your whole upbringing.
Whoa, man. My whole upbringing, I'm trying to think where to even start. I grew up in Tulsa. That's cool that you are familiar with town. Not many
Great
people
town.
are familiar with town. Yeah, thank you. I love it. Grew up in Tulsa. Grew up in a pretty evangelical Christian home. We were a big church family, and so the reason I bring that up is that was definitely kind of my first introduction into music. Was just, in those sorts of arenas, music is as prevalent as anything.
Sure.
So, and my mom, she was singing up in the choir, and then she was singing on the worship team or whatever they call it. And so I was just always watching her on stage. And then, she integrated music pretty heavily into our upbringing. We were doing piano lessons, and I eventually was able to wiggle out of that and started kind of playing the drums a little bit. And then mostly, man, yeah, I got into sports. And I ran track and was playing basketball. That was kind of my thing. I didn't really music was only I didn't really have a real relationship with it. It just was something that I was impacted by, I think. And then
Sure.
as I went off to college is when it started to kind of, I think, speak to me in a different way. And without really pursuing it, I think I started to find a real comfort in writing my own songs. And then, that starts getting boring, but just kind of thing after thing after thing. Next thing I knew, I'm in a band and I'm on tour and we've got an agent. And I mean, it just was crazy how fast and slow. That's the thing that's always been for us. It's just like I cannot believe how fast and slow everything goes.
I call it the roller coaster ride, which is a little more cliche. Fast and slow is very fresh take on it, but that's exactly what it is. It's sort of wobbly. You know what I mean? And you're in and out of the good parts of the wobble. It's like a weird deal. I asked you that just to sort of understand your upbringing. There you go. You had music all around you, especially at church. So many of our friends, I know your friends, so many of my big hit songwriter friends, the Music City days, I was there for so many years and all that, all came from this history of church. I grew up in the Mississippi Delta. I moved back home to Greenville, Mississippi. Our family's 5 generations. My grandfather had 5 movie theaters in the 40s. So they were also single screen and all that, but they loved the entertainment business. And I grew up around the greatest blues legends in the world, Little Milton and folks like that were always sort of pushing me forward rather than saying you couldn't do it. They were positive to me, and so, but I also was heavy in sports, and I've always credited sports in surviving it, like surviving the beat down when you get told no, 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 yes, no, 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 yes, yes, no, no. You're a competitor, and it makes you go, well, they're wrong, but at the same time, you get better because something's. The coaches aren't always wrong, the referees are always wrong, but the coaches aren't. Anyway, but seriously though.
I love that you connect to that because I think it is such a one-to-one relationship, music and sports, or at least being on a team and being on a band are just so similar. I can never get over it.
Yeah.
Especially when you brought up comparison. It's like, it's like I love that in sports you are only ever going to beat people by playing your own game, and it's the same thing in music. You're only going to ever win and succeed if you're just being yourself and playing your own tunes and not trying to be someone else's band or being someone else's music or vibe. It's like you only succeed if you can really get into yourself and figure out how do I be the best version of what it is that I do. And it was the exact same thing all through sports. I mean, I remember in basketball being like, you would just get so confused and run down trying to change your game and your philosophy to adapt to the other team. I mean, it was just like a total lose every time.
Yeah. You start playing chess and you start playing with a better chess player. You got to figure it out for yourself. You grew up in a good area, man. Oklahoma, Kansas. I understand the basketball talent there. You grew up with it. You've seen it. I think basketball is one of the greatest sports in the world as far as a team. It's about the size of your band. You know what I mean? It's sort of comfortable on the court of all the sports you play. I'm actually signing, like an idiot at my age, a 2-day ABA contract up around Cooperstown this year in November. I've been convinced to go play in the game, 2 games. My wife and my son, his middle son, who's a doctor now, Dad, you got to be kidding me. You're going to tear an Achilles. You're going to da-da-da-da-da. You're not going to be able to tour. They're all giving me grief, but I bought a basketball the other day, and I'm going to get home and get in my old high school and get on the shooting machine. And there's not a shot that I didn't ever love, especially when it was way behind the arc. And I'm looking forward to it. But I got to tell you something. I was messing around a minute ago with my sister-in-law, and I was backing into her, and she stole the ball from me twice. So I feel like I'm in trouble.
Oh, man, yeah.
It's been that long,
Man,
so,
yeah.
Let's take a quick break. I always wanted to, we're with Max Rayner, the band Wildorado, October 3rd and 4th. You guys are October 4th, correct, in Stovall? Exciting times. You're going to be on the land of muddy waters. And speaking of muddy waters, the birthplace of America's music is what visitmississippi.org celebrates. I'm Steve Azar with Max Rayner. Don't go nowhere.
Fox Facts.
Long before weather apps, farmers reached for slim little books promising a peek at the seasons ahead. The first, the Old Farmer's Almanac, was created in 1792 by Robert B. Thomas in Massachusetts. Using astronomical charts and a secret formula, he predicted long-range weather, planting cycles, and offered household tips. A generation later, in 1818, New Jersey school teacher David Young launched a rival publication, The Farmer's Almanac, blending folklore and astronomy for the same purpose. Both quickly became trusted tools on American farms. More than 2 centuries later, they're still published every late summer. Each claims about 80% accuracy, though studies show it's more like 50%. Still, millions buy them every year for planting charts, moon phases, and a quirky link to the past that technology hasn't replaced. Matt Murphy, Fox News.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now.
Some things in
Section 2, Rockin' 2, whatever you call this part of a Mississippi Minute. All I know is I'm grateful to have my guest today, Max Rayner, on the phone. Fabulous, fabulous band, Wildorado. They're legit. They're honest. They have their own thing going. And I'm looking forward to understanding his songwriting process. Tyler's supposed to be on the phone as well, but we're just going to give him grief because he must be sleeping in one of the other rooms. They're on tour. Visit Mississippi.org. What do you got to say? All right, so we've talked sports. We know the importance. Okay, so for me as a songwriter, Max, what got me to ever want to be on stage, which I live for and I'm very comfortable with, was the fact that I was starting to write songs as I was 11 or 12 years old, and they were what they were, right? But I loved to write songs. Well, I felt like I needed to do something with them, and you got to go play. For you, take me back to the first time you started writing songs. It sounds like you said you wanted to do something with them. And when did you guys realize, you know what, these are good? And then when you got together as a band, how did they start getting pieced together? Was there a lot of figuring, or did you guys just start playing them?
We were just playing them, and I think, honestly, the answer is we never thought they were good past the way they made us feel, if that makes any sense.
Sure.
I mean, it never really left the room on what does it mean that we like these. I think it was like, we were all listening and sharing music so intensely at that time, hanging out, partying in LA, and just rolling through these records. And I think whenever I started kind of showing this group of friends songs and we started playing them together, and it started to kind of lock in, and we started to recognize the sensation it was giving us was the same one that we felt when we would listen to these records we loved. That was kind of like all that there was. It didn't really, I mean, it's kind of been a problem, to tell you the truth, because at some point you need to strategize on what that means. But like, for us, it was always just, man, this feels good. And if it feels good, we're going to lean in. If it doesn't feel good, then we're going to run away. RUNOFT.
Yeah. Are we talking, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou just then a little bit?
Yeah,
don't get me started. All right, so okay, now, so let's dig a little further into like songs. For instance, Surefire. I love the song Surefire. Sounds like it's got some sort of literary prowess to it. Take me to the inspiration of that.
It's always so hard these songs kind of change for me as they go along, but I think I was I was reading a Tabitha what's her last this Tabitha King poem that was talking about bears hibernating. It was this weird. I never really knew who she was, but I was reading. You ever read Stephen King's On Writing?
Well,
He
if I'm a bad reader, but I know all about it, and no.
You should check it out. It's it's an interesting. It's basically just like his concept of writing. It's really really good. I've not really read any of his novels, but that I don't know. Blah blah blah. He's
No, no,
talking
no.
about
I
his
love hearing
wife.
that. What's the name of it again? I'm writing it down.
It's called On Writing.
Okay. Oh, cool.
He's talking about meeting his wife, and she read this poem when they were in college, and he. Hold on, give me 1 second.
Take your time. It's good.
You're not gonna believe it, but I think I got Tyler to come to my room.
That's cool. Wake up, Tyler. Come on. This is what happens on In a Mississippi Minute. He's walking to his door, everybody.
Sorry.
Hey, you got what? Tyler.
Dude, you're gonna love this guy though.
What's up, dude?
What up, Tyler?
It just fell apart.
What's up,
Tyler,
man?
Tyler, you sleeping in? What the heck's going on here?
Well, to be honest, this was someone else's fault. I wasn't really fully aware that Tyler was supposed to be involved in this, so I hit him up right as you said, "Where's Tyler?" And
I
he
love it.
freaking made it.
Got his coffee, so you're going to be able to survive this. Just you may have to lay on the couch a little while by the time we're done, Tyler. But we're good. I appreciate you stepping in.
Steve was asking about the inspiration of Surefire, and I was kind of just getting into like at some point I think I was reading this poem and I was thinking about bears hibernating. As funny as that is, and it kind of just led me to think like, man, we're all going to die, and it's interesting that these creatures in nature are so willing to spend the only time they have for months at a time sleeping, and yet they come out and it's like century after century they think it's worthwhile to do, and for some reason, man, it just started making me think like I just want to make sure I'm spending all of my time the way that I'm supposed to be, whether it's with the setting sun or the morning or walking through the freaking trees. Like, this is all going to end. And when it does, I want to look back and think I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's the positive attitude. I mean, that's the attitude you're supposed to wake up to in the morning. Hey, Tyler, so you guys both grow up. Did you grow up in Tulsa as well?
I grew up in a little town called Waxahachie, Texas.
Okay, and you guys meet in Oklahoma in college.
Yeah, we met at college, and then since lived in California for a stint, and then now we're all in Tulsa. Yeah.
Okay, so the first time you guys actually start writing together, were you writing before you met Max, or was that ever a thought to you, or did you guys become the catalyst of pushing the songs out of each other? I mean, what started first?
Yeah, it was never in my mind. We were both fifth years in college, and we started hanging out, drinking crappy whiskey and playing guitar together and thinking, oh, this is fun. And he was already writing music that my then girlfriend, now wife at the time, were actual fans of. So it felt like a cool experience to
good there, Max. That's a little kudos, Max.
Get to play with them. Yeah.
That's how I knew he was with the right girl.
That's exactly right. She had good taste. Exactly.
As life has it, we all ended up in LA, which I think ultimately is where the band started. And there's another friend of ours out there, and it was more of just like a hang around and diddle on our instruments, and Max comes up with melodies, and we all push it and say, this is cool, let's keep doing that. And yeah, 12 songs came out of that.
So your other bandmates, you guys met them in Los Angeles?
Yeah, there's been people that have fluctuated in and out of Wildorado, but there kind of was this core group of friends, and it's so funny. He said the exact same story I did without being here. I mean, we really were just hanging out, and it was just songs started to pop up, and this group of friends were just able to play them. I mean, hey, you try to play the drums. Hey, you try to play the bass. I mean, it's like. It's honestly almost offensive to the
It's very offensive, by the way.
To the history of music, the fact that we freaking made it into this industry, because it's like we honestly all we'd had was just a love for it. No one was a player, and we kind of learned to become players on the road in front of people over the last 10 years.
I have a feeling that because just the way your records sound, I have a feeling the way you guys entered this together. It's so honest. As indie rock bands, Americana bands, I mean, everything can start sounding similar. You guys don't sound anything like that. And that's interesting. I have a feeling it has to do with the way y'all decided to become a band. It ticks me off a little bit because I wanted it at 12 years old.
Yeah,
I didn't
dude.
have my first hits until I was 37.
See?
So that's a long road from 12 and you want it bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like at 12. So you guys, you remind me, I'm really good friends with Darius and Mark, Dean, and Sony of Hootie and the Blowfish. They've been on my show. And, Mark, Dean, and Sony have. I've taken too much money off of Darius on the golf courses. He won't ever be on my show. But no, seriously, though, they happen so fast. When it came to the national radio success, they were doing it. But when they finally did it together, and it was like their first attempt as a band together. And that's just ridiculous. And you guys should be ashamed of yourself. Let's take a quick break. Tyler, I'm glad you joined us. We'll be right back. I'm Steve Azar. You're in a Mississippi Minute. Go to visitmississippi.org. This is what I'm talking about. It's all about tourism. We're the birthplace of America's music, whether Tyler and Max know it or not. But they're coming to the land of Muddy Waters, man. And there is no Rolling Stones without Muddy Waters. October 4th, they'll be headlining Wildorado, their band. We'll be right back.
$20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now.
From the Seabrook.
In a Mississippi Minute with Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
When you're young, you think you know it all. Yeah, you hot rod cocky.
I am a segment and a half from going to Mexico, and this is my last interview. I'm in my family's condo here in Hot Springs, Arkansas, overlooking Lake Hamilton. I've been here since August 1st. And I swore that I wasn't going to do anything. And when Howard Stovall reaches out about his Mighty Roots Music Festival, which I did co-find, by the way, I have to help. I wanted to spread the word and get these interviews in the can before I go to Mexico for a couple weeks with my bride of 35 years. We deserve it. Of course, Wildorado, Max, and I've got Tyler, who just showed up. These guys have been longtime buddies. They did 5 years of college like I did, which I understand. The 5th year of my college year, guys, was the year that set me apart. My band started taking off everywhere. A year and a half later, I'd meet my wife, Gwen. When I got out of college, I had 200 one-nighters on the books. We had a 4-man road crew. We had 10 guys on payroll. And I'm telling you, it was something probably nobody ever needed to record, but it was a great time. They document it in their mind. Everybody goes, oh, please come put all those old songs that you had back in the 80s. I want to see the 80s Azar. And I'm going like, listen, if you went back and really listened to those songs, let's just enjoy the memory. They didn't need to be documented. But anyway, but what a time to learn to play music and all that. It was my 5th year as a senior. I think that everybody should go to college 5 years, by the way. But with that said, you guys go off to LA. I went to Nashville for 20 years. Well, I had hits and I toured the world, played all the arenas, beautiful, all that. I couldn't wait to get back home to the Mississippi Delta. And I moved our kids, who were 15, 13, and 10 at the time, from Nashville, who were born and raised there, to the Mississippi Delta. And they all graduated from my high school. Max, you'd have loved my middle son, was a shooting machine. He had a big career, MVP every year in hoops and all that. With all that said, moving back home for me, it was crazy inspirational. So I wrote all of these songs, these records, all about home. I was doing it on the road in Nashville and putting them on my records, spotty, but for some reason I couldn't visualize everything that should have been so visual as a kid. So when you guys moved back to Tulsa, or you moved back to Oklahoma, where you went to college, what was it like on the other side of LA for inspiration for you guys?
I mean, the exact same. It was like for me, it was like I'm free. I'm finally free. It felt incredible. I mean, our first two records, both the Wildorado LP and Talker, is just like all those songs just flooded out when we got home. It's just the way it is. I don't know. I mean, we were talking last night. It's funny you bring that up, just like how important comfort is, I think, sometimes for us in songwriting and producing these songs, is just allowing ourselves to be in a place where we feel comfortable doing it. And I think, because you kind of get into some dangerous territory there, whether you like it or not. You're with these people that you love in these intimate relationships with your buddies, and then all of a sudden you're doing something that's really vulnerable, and you're really freaking sticking yourself out there, you know what I mean? And you're just so open and ready to be cut down, and I don't know, it's a really fragile thing. So
Yeah.
So I think being at home and having just a higher degree of comfort and being in a place where you felt like you could fully be yourself was really important to us.
Max, you are nailing it. In fact, I was about to say the word vulnerable ran through my head because as songwriters and all my Music City songwriters and Texas friends, songwriters, I got a lot of them that I've written with over the course of my life and admire and shared the stage with. That word vulnerable flew across my mind, and then you said it, because that is the key. It's sort of you have to be honest. But something about coming home full circle, or coming back to a place of comfort, and you use the word comfort, it's almost like the pen takes control of your hand and it does the work. I mean, it's just a different thing because you're so much more relaxed. And, it's just hard to explain until you've done it, and you guys have done it. Tyler, since you're back there half asleep, I'm messing with you, buddy. For you, as coming back now, and what was this decision when you guys got together? I remember being up on my deck in Nashville and Franklin, Tennessee. Hey, what if we moved home to my wife? I think she had probably a few glasses of wine. It was easy to convince her. I messed with her. But seriously, for you, what was the memory of that, and what got you guys to finally do that?
Well, we all ended up in LA at different times, and then we all ended up back in Tulsa at different times. And I was the last one. My wife and I were the last ones to get there. But ultimately, it came down to we got pregnant with our second child, and just came to the realization that LA wasn't affordable nor a place where we wanted to raise children. And we were gonna move to Texas to be close to my family, and I don't know. The God Almighty was telling me I needed to move to Tulsa, and I like in the same situation for you. I kind of was like, Tori, I think we should move to Tulsa. And it took a little bit of nagging, but she finally said yes, and we bought a house, which we could, in Tulsa, sight unseen, and have landed in an absolutely wonderful neighborhood with great friends and a community of people that help. And that's what I was going to say. On the other side of it, it's like, most of this business financially is touring.
Sure.
And, if we're going to tour, being somewhere like Tulsa is incredibly important. Not only is it in the middle of America and you can get places quicker, we have our friends and family there to help.
Exactly.
And that
Exactly.
goes, that gives us the opportunity to do it. I
Man,
think.
and we go home to rest as opposed to going home to just the industry. Like the idea of always going back to LA, going back to Nashville, not hating on that. And again, all this goes back to what
I'm
we
not hating
said.
on it either. I agree with. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I want to go home and absolutely leave the music industry when I get off tour. I don't want to go somewhere else where people are wanting to talk about Wildorado. I want to go and I want to talk about the dishes. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
don't, if you just get so saturated with tour and music and shows and rock and roll and attention, and then we go home and I mean,
Yeah.
we are dads then and sons
Yeah.
and husbands.
It's called
That's
normal.
all.
It's called the normalcy you need to
Yeah.
remain grounded enough to be able to be vulnerable enough to write songs that work with everybody out there, because that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
So, and if you lose that side of that, then you lose everything, because you'll never be in touch with people. I mean, that's what it's all about as a songwriter,
And
for sure.
What's cool about Tulsa too is like, yeah, we can go and completely just tap out. But then you'll go around town and you'll meet people that are legitimate fans, and they're like so excited for us and they want to know how it was. And it's not like going to LA, like, or again, not bashing, but where you're one of many, many people.
Yeah. Well, you
People are-
can't walk away from. You cannot. I love it. I always make the sort of the comparison. All my buddies in Nashville, they're all moving further out. Now they're an hour out now. I mean, like an hour and 20 out. I mean, they're in Alabama. They're in Kentucky. Sorry, but you know what I mean. They're in Mississippi. I mean, they're getting as far out as they can, but they still say they're in Nashville, right? You know, and I'm going like, well, I went home. And I'm in heaven is where I am. You know what I mean? So, and then also, guess what my traffic is? Tractors.
None.
Tractors.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
right.
I'll catch myself complaining, and I'm sure I know them, and I'm going like, son, get out of my freaking way. And I'm going, oh, I apologize. Wait, what am I talking about? I could be in Nashville right now in total chaos. Let's take a quick break. We got a short segment left. We're with Max and Tyler, Wildorado, October 4th. October 3rd and 4th is the Mighty Roots Music Festival on legendary Stovall Farms. Our pal Howard doing the right things. Tourism 101 for visitmississippi.org. Come on, are you kidding me? This festival has grown every year. Wildorado is a perfect example. This band, they've been stepping it up every year, and I'm really excited that they're going to be on Mississippi soil where my mom grew up. That's what I'm talking about. We'll be right back. I'm Steve Azar.
Man, you don't know a thing. You don't know a thing. Hey, you don't know a thing. Up to $20,000 available for first-time homebuyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Homebuyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time homebuyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
I'm Gianna Gelosi with your Fox True Crime Minute. A Halloween cold case is back in the spotlight in Placer County, California, as investigators push for answers that have escaped them for 30 years. On October 31st, Sherilyn Hockley, a 34-year-old mother of three and elementary school teacher, was found dead in her minivan just a mile from the Eureka Elementary campus where she taught. She was last seen leaving the school's Halloween celebrations Friday, October 29th. Friends say she had just purchased a home in Roseville and was excited for the next chapter of her life. A rope was found next to her body, but her vehicle remains the only known crime scene connected to the case. And despite an extensive investigation at the time, the case went unsolved. Nobody has ever been arrested for her murder. Now, 32 years later, the sheriff's cold case team says it's taking another look, armed with new DNA testing methods and modern investigative tools that weren't available in the 90s. There's more on this story at foxnews.com or subscribe to the Fox True Crime Podcast. I'm Gianna Gelosi with your Fox True Crime Minute.
Friday nights just...
Flying down a flat track, bottle in a brown sack, pistons pumping in a poor boy's Cadillac, across the Mississippi, crazy on the pale moonlight. Lord, I'm gonna be the devil to see my angel tonight. Yeah. Gotta go, can't stop smoking like a chimney top. Heart's on fire, got me heated up real high. Burning down the Bible like a lit stick of dynamite.
All right, we got some Wildcats on the phone. Tyler got up for us. I appreciate it. He's got a brand new cup of coffee that's half gone now. Max's cup is going to be cold already like mine, but we visit Mississippi.org. Excited about having Will Dorado on Mississippi soil, home of Muddy Waters, October 3rd and 4th. Go to Mighty Roots musicfestival.com. MightyRootsMusicFestival.com. That's off the top of my head. And the headline act this year is Will Dorado. They are legit. They're good guys, as you can tell. Grounded all the way down to earth. And they're taking the music world by storm, even though they decided just to kind of do it, just stumble into it, which I'm still not happy with. Bunch of junk. You guys have got to be kidding me.
Hey,
anyway,
listen, we're open to that.
Howard's got all this stuff about he's got bike rides and Friars Point. I mean, he's got all this stuff going on. I don't even know what's going on. I just want people to go to the website and buy tickets to see you guys. Let's talk about staying ahead of the game as songwriters. You know, it can catch up with you, and then all of a sudden you're going like, well, let me just say this. When my LLC, Steve Azar Touring, has less money in it than Steve Azar Enterprises, it's not a good thing. Touring is it. It's important, you know. So you said that earlier. So how do you guys stay ahead of the game creatively, get in the studio, get happy, and get back out on the road? Because you know you got to have new music. You got to keep grinding it. What's your plan? Like, I know you guys are messing around. We're messing around. You guys worked hard enough to get to where you got. We know that. You can start later and just work your tail off and get there like you guys did. So you deserve to be there. But how do you guys take on the future?
Man,
good question.
It's a great question. It's like every day, I hate to say, kind of starts with wondering that. I think, to be honest, man, it's kind of like we were saying at the beginning, is there's just so little you can control about this. And I think the only thing we can control about it is wanting to do it and wanting and feeling excited about the music that we're making. And I think, as atypical and upside down as it might sound, to just grind and grind and grind and be like trying to force the next thing, stay ahead of the game. It's all just an equation to not wanting to do it anymore, or to it changing, to it getting away from this thing that we've been so precious about controlling, which is it just being natural and it being us and being this thing that we truly love and want to share. So I think the real kind of exercise is figuring out how do you create a place where everyone's wanting to keep doing it. And it's because, I mean, you know, it's so fun talking to you because you know, like, touring is so much, writing songs and being in this state of vulnerability with these people all the time. It's a lot. It's taxing.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think what we're always trying to figure out is you need songs. We want songs. And I think, like, that's what I'm always trying to make sure we're thinking is, let's want songs, not need songs. As soon as we need songs, that's when you're going to start getting songs from us that don't sound like Will Dorado anymore.
Yeah.
I'd rather 3 years go by and people wonder where the hell we went than you start getting material from us that we're trying to keep ahead of the game. I mean, I don't give two shits about the game because there's nothing you can do to control it.
And changing, ever changing.
And ever changing. As soon as you think you know what it is, you're wrong, and you're doing something that's just a copycat.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I get that. It sounds like you guys, well, you really got things figured out more than if you wake up and are going like Dewey. I'm listening on my end. It sounds like y'all really have your perspectives.
Hey man, we're about to hit the road. We got a 13-hour drive to Utah.
Yeah, we're not going
God.
to bed, brother. We're about to go all day.
Oh,
Hey,
wow. Well, y'all be safe, and I appreciate y'all.
I appreciate you talking to us and giving us some challenges, man. That's a bold thing to do, and I love it. I think we need it.
Yeah, this gave me some good energy. Thanks.
Oh, I love it. I love it. All right. Well, you guys, y'all be safe and rock and roll. Guys, Wildorado, October 4th, but October 3rd and 4th is the Mighty Roots Music Festival in Stovall, Mississippi, home of Muddy Waters. Wildorado, man, I'm telling you, it's the cream of the crop. Speaking of crops, there's crops out there. It's everything. You got to be kidding me.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
Question: do you know a guy named Desmond Smith?
I know Desmond Smith's name.
He's
Why
a
do I know Desmond?
tech, and he lives in Mississippi. Sweet guy, Marine. He was an old Marine. I just assumed you might know him through.
Well, I'm not sure, but I'm going to look him up now. I like.
Okay, yeah, we toured with Ryan Bingham, our first ever tour, and he was the tech there. And I mean, I'll just never forget. He kind of coached us into how to do it, and I think
wow.
he's a good.
Yeah, dude,
good
and
Mississippi
he's like you. You guys got the same freaking energy.
Yeah, I love it.
He's from Mississippi. We all drank the same water.
Heck yeah, dude.
There's
I
either
want
something
some of that
really,
water.
there's either something really wrong or really right about us. I hadn't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
But
No,
I'll take
bottle that up and have it.
I'm bottling it.
waiting for
Later on, Wildorado, folks, October 4th, Mighty Roots Music Festival. Great guys, Max, Tyler, y'all be safe.
All right, see you.
Later on, visit Mississippi.org,
Thanks
folks.
for doing that.
Later on.
I knew you'd like them.
All right, guys, bye-bye.
All right, see you.
I'm Steve Azar. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them, where you can take your sweet time.
A SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.